Hello, thanks for being in a new video. This time I have first impressions of the Galaxy Watch Ultra and also the Galaxy Watch 7. Let's get started. Samsung has taken the decision to launch a watch as advanced as possible, and this is the Galaxy Watch Ultra, which debuts a rather particular design. I find it to be original, although I personally did not like it so much as the screen. I consider it is still too small to be called a Watch Ultra. So the screen is still round, very similar in size to, for example, the Galaxy Watch Glassy. I don't see that the screen is really very spacious, so that section could possibly be improved for the next generation. In this case, it now incorporates a slightly squarer body with rounded corners to fit a larger battery and new sensors. But overall, the screen, as I say, does not get to take advantage of all this space. In fact, it maintains a round bezel around it that I personally did not like so much. On the sides, we will find a new button that may confuse you because it is a quick action button. It is not the home button. So the fact that it has a prominent tone gives you the feeling that it is a button to return to the main screen. But it is not. That button is the one at the top, and it also has another button at the bottom. So it has several buttons that you can interact with this watch, but the button that's in the middle is not a digital crown, so you can't rotate it like to interact with it. Nor does it have the rotating bezel. So really, it seems to me that Samsung has done some weird things with this model that, despite being ultra, doesn't have the options that we do see on the lower end watches, where we would find the rotating bezel, which is a fan favorite feature, and I think it's very rare not to see it here. Of course, we will have the virtual rotating frame option, but it's not the same experience. In this case, we will now find a siren that you can activate with a very loud sound for emergency occasions. Although at this moment I can't find where is the option to activate it, but they mentioned it in their presentation. Remember that this is a first look, but later we will have a much more detailed and complete analysis. Another thing that has changed is the strap, which now incorporates a material that feels thicker and has two perforations for a more secure fit. It also incorporates a new quick release system with which you can change these straps easily, but it is a little thicker than traditional straps. And on the back we are going to find the new bioactive sensor. This sensor is debuting on both Galaxy Watch 7 and Galaxy Watch Ultra, and it's about time because until the Galaxy Watch 6, Samsung had used exactly the same bioactive sensor that it had already released many years ago. Finally, we see an evolution. So we will find new LEDs with different colors in this bioactive sensor that has not only changed aesthetically by showing more colors, but thanks to this incorporation of new LEDs with more colors and smaller, it has a more accurate monitoring. In addition, it has a new Exynos processor that is 3 times more powerful than the last generation and integrates 5 cores. So it's a very good processor that will make the whole experience on the watch super smooth. In fact, it's one of the best I've seen from Samsung today. The watch navigates very well, it feels very fluid, you don't see it locking up or being sluggish, and I love that. But it's not an exclusive feature of this Ultra, but also this same processor is in the Galaxy Watch 7. So I personally don't see as many arguments in favor of the Ultra having the Galaxy Watch 7 available. Although the rotating bezel is not available in this or the other edition, then you should stick with the Galaxy Watch 6 Classic, which is the one I use to date. A unique feature of the Galaxy Watch Ultra is the new dual-frequency GPS that will make your measurement much more accurate when exercising outdoors. In fact, this watch, I would think it much more focused on this type of users who want to go outdoors to exercise. They want their measurements to be much more accurate. Because, for example, if you use the power saving mode when exercising, it could give you up to 48 hours of monitoring. Obviously, without the power saving mode, it will be less, but it is still a very good power duration for long exercise sessions. By the way, the watch is constructed of grade 4 titanium, so it's very durable, and that's another improvement that you won't find in past Samsung watches. It is also the first Samsung watch to have seawater resistance. In addition to the IP68 and 10 ATM resistance, it also adds seawater resistance. So it's perfect because it withstands extreme conditions. In fact, in terms of altitude, it also resists very good things because you can use it up to 9,000 meters above sea level and up to 500 meters below sea level, and it will continue to work. You could also use it in temperatures up to 55 degrees Celsius or minus 20 degrees Celsius. Therefore, I insist that it is very interesting the durability that this watch can reach, and it can be one of your buying factors. The screen, despite not being so spacious, also has a significant improvement because it reaches up to 3000 nits of brightness, so using this watch outdoors will also be very comfortable. In addition, it will also incorporate a night mode that will put the screen with reddish tones, very similar to what we see on the Apple Watch, although it seems that this feature will be enabled manually because at the moment I can't find a way to enable it to show it to you. Samsung claims that the watch will be able to give you up to 100 hours of power, but with the saver mode. That means that several functions would be disabled. I'm guessing that without the saver mode it could give you about 2 days of battery life, which isn't bad, but it's also not that spectacular considering other watches on the market. With this watch, Samsung is also debuting monitoring where you can have multiple sports in your session. So, it's going to be much easier to do various types of exercise in your own session to keep an active track. Also for cyclists, it now also incorporates the FTP index, which is able to measure every pedal stroke you take with your leg. So those are some of the new features we see in the Galaxy Watch Ultra, which, as I say, I think is an interesting proposal from Samsung. But yes, I would have liked to see at least the rotating frame, considering that it does integrate this thick bezel in this part, or failing that, a digital crown on the new button they added. But it doesn't seem to me that it gets to take advantage of these elements that much. The screen is quite small considering we are talking about Samsung's top-of-the-line watch. So, I would wait for the second generation, but for now it represents a new proposal from Samsung. On the other hand, the Galaxy Watch 7 is going to incorporate the new processor that I was telling you about, which will make it more efficient in power consumption. And in fact, it also has the dual-frequency GPS and the new bioacting sensors. So, honestly, there are not that many differences between the Ultra and the Watch 7. In fact, it can now also monitor sleep apnea, and there's a very important index that both the Galaxy Watch 7 and the Galaxy Watch Ultra can monitor. We are talking about the Ages Index. This index in some ways can be very closely related to your blood sugar, although it's not specifically glucose monitoring, but it can tell you how your metabolism is working. So this index can be very high if you're consuming a lot of sugar, and in some ways it can help you as a reference. So this index, I think, is another one of the most important new features that we'll find in this new generation of watches, but it's not something that's unique to the Ultra model. That's why I think the Ultra model currently doesn't make as much sense, unless you want a super rugged design. And another new feature at the software level that I was forgetting to mention is that when answering your notifications, now the artificial intelligence will analyze the message that is being sent to you to suggest intelligent responses. So, in addition to the traditional predefined responses like yes, no, I'm on my way and the like, it will now also be able to give you more intelligent suggestions. And that's definitely going to be a very attractive feature. For the moment, we've come to the end of this video. I hope you liked it. I'll be sharing a more detailed review of this watch with you soon. See you next time.